Welcome to my channel. Let's explore Waiheke Island.
Ay, pagunay. Ang puso sa likod. Naibig. Sure ka mga tutaan na, basta man agi dead end na oh. Manglahiya ta diri. Ay, ang museum. Joke man eh. Bay, boleh gianan oy. Mao siguro to ang gianan. Sa aban niya ay. O pre, white tour guide. Christmas tree. Christmas tree. Oh, tambas lagi. Ay, gagbuot lang ka. Tuusan.
Tambal sa bitis yung usap.
Oh, oh. Beb, kaunon pa dyan. Basang sisiyo, magitaan. Ano dito eh?
Iyang gusto ko bilhin. Matulog ko. Singkon.
Sure ka man dito ta. Uy, kauhanon, ano, taligsik. Basang sisiyo, tani. Yampag na ni. May ngaligo tagdagat na. Ito stop 5 na. Hindi sa flower. Uy, tara na uy. Tuon ni mo nila poor. Dili ka afford hotel.
Nagpalit suka ba?
Ano?
Tigsaling yun.
Aray. Kilometer. Lagi ka lang di, di ko madto eh.
Gabi yan na.
Nabuhat siya.
Gabi dito waksa.
Museum failed. Exit. Subukan yung pati ka na kawato no yung nawad dahil ko eh.
Event of an emergency, please remain calm and await instructions from the crew. Life jackets are carried for all on board. Should they be required, then the crew are on hand to assist. Fuller's operates a no-smoking policy on board its vessels. This includes the use of electronic and vapor-generating devices. Toilet locations are clearly marked. Our crew are on hand if you require assistance at any time. Have a great trip.
Abot kami. Welcome to Waiheke.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Kuan tayo niya ba? Ha? Dili man? 40. Ito sa bus. Nasa bus na ta? Bus! Ah, sige, ko dito ko.
Hindi ka na, Mak. Marami sa kuha.
Mata na ito ng bus. Wala nila eh. Wala na. Waiheke rentals. Picture to din hibe.
But at the same time, it's a winery. They have a restaurant with delicious food, and you can enjoy your glass of wine, maybe a Chardonnay. I've heard they have a great Chardonnay, and enjoy the views of Waiheke Bay. This is the only winery that heads this area, Waiheke Bay, which means you're gonna see lots of lovely boats. From bus stop number 2, you can go to the only winery with certified organic wine. It's 35 minutes away from our bus stop number 2. Otherwise, for Goldie Estate, it's a 3 minutes walk. Up to you. Just remember, Goldie Estate is daily open from 12 till 4. So this is one of the vineyards that you should visit first.
Huwag na lang tayo. Kani, number 2. Kayo masarap.
Wine naman ako.
Oh, wine. Ano to? Dinner, lunch mo to. Ganina, dito nag-lunch. With wine. Sa'yo. Wine na lang ta. Ano nag-lunch? Sa'yo na ito yung i-suggest.
So if you haven't spotted, that's alright. There's plenty of them. The thing is that we all have one of those great tanks in our houses. It's a water tank, and this is because Waiheke doesn't have a public water system, so we rely on rain. And during the year it's fine because it rains a lot, mostly during spring, but during summer we have to be super careful with the water use, because if you run out of water you have to call the water truck, and it may take weeks for them to come to your place, and it's 300 New Zealand dollars to fill in your tank. This road is called Causeway, and as you can see on both sides we have mud. There's no water at all. This is because we're on low tide at the moment. In another 5 hours time this is going to be all full of water and much more beautiful, I can guarantee that. There's many boats being painted at the moment on the right hand side. You're going to see them soon. And this is because of what I said before. Not much rain these days, so it's a perfect moment to get your boats ready for summer. And the next stop is number 3 for Austin Village. The main attraction here is definitely the seafood market, because they have the cheapest price for the Tematuku oysters are grown here in the Marine Reserve. They're selling the dozen for $28, which will make it around $2 each of your oysters. While in restaurants and vineyards, they are charging $4.50 or even $5 each. Big difference. It's a very good deal, and it's only on the seafood market, which is going to be open until 5 p.m. They're offering takeaways or eat in. They have lovely chairs and tables. It's going to be Vinya Valley. That includes 4 and 5. First, we're going to visit a vineyard that was named after the huge hill that we have ahead of us, Stoner Ridge. It was the second successful vineyard of the island, being planted in 1982, a couple of years after Goldie Estate. So they together inspired other winemakers to come here, grow the grapes and produce the wines, and for that we're very thankful. Stoner Ridge has one of the most expensive wines of the island. It's a blend called La Rose with Cabernet Sauvignon, and they have won gold medals all over the world. I'm talking about a high quality type of wine, $75 a glass. But they are offering a premium tasting at the moment, which is around $28 if I'm not wrong. That will include La Rose and 2 other types of wine. Then we have Temeltu. It's a more rustic style vineyard, and it was named after the original Maori name of the island, Temotu Areroa. They have a very small place, and as the restaurant, they have delicious food, and they have the best white wines. And then we have Wild Estate, which is basically for having fun. It's a great place for bus stop number 5 for Tantalus Estate, which is closing at 5, remember, with a beautiful fine dining restaurant. Alibi Brewery on the bottom floor, closing at 9 p.m. The museum is closed at the moment. Very sorry for that. They're located on the left-hand side. Upstairs is Tantalus Estate, bottom floor Alibi. The next bus will pick you up at 43 past an hour. And if you're going to Delos Distillery, so we're now going to bus stop number 6 for Onetangi. It's the longest beach of the island, 1.8 kilometers long. If you're hopping off there and you would like to go for a stroll along the beach, I think it's a great idea. Go for it. Just make sure you use the steps that are provided instead of going through the sand dunes. So we avoid harming native plants of New Zealand like the spinifex and the pingao. We plant them every April with the community because they protect and stabilize the sand dunes. So we would love to keep it that way. And since we are still on low tide, you'll be able to see a native bird of New Zealand. It's the oyster catcher, and they love hanging out on Onetangi Beach when it's low tide. It's a black bird with orange beak, and if you have some extra time, go closer to them and see how they catch oysters. They're the oyster catchers. If you're planning on having lunch, there's 3 different options for you here. First, Charlie Farley's is a beach bar with multi-casual food. They have tacos, they have burgers, fish and chips, chowders, large platters to share if you're the big group. And they have nice ice creams on the kiosk, and all the flavors are amazing. My personal favorite is the cookies and cream because it has lots of cookies, and I love that. And then right next door in 372, they have great cocktails. I tried espresso martini one time and it was perfect. So if you're going there, make sure you try the espresso martini. It will wake you up. And they have a wide variety of salads. They have the roasted potatoes with guacamole. They have different types of fish, including salmon. They have Wagyu steak, and it's just ahead of the ocean, so great views from there. And then if you are into Spanish food, you can go to Casita Miro. It's 35 minutes walk from our bus stop, a little bit long walk, kind of tricky to get there, but definitely worth it. They have tapas, goat's cheese croquettes, they have paella, if you like seafood, it's amazing, and churros with chocolate for dessert, yummy. And in the building itself is beautiful. They have mosaic all around, and inspired in Gaudi in Barcelona, so let's for pictures. If you're going there, you should walk to the left through the main road, which is the Strand, until you get to avenue number 7. Then is a walk up the hill, and if you have Google Maps on your phones, just use that so you don't get lost.
Senhor, se isso aqui é verão, não sabia nem.
And if you're hopping off here in Onetangi, the next bus will pick you up at 1:49 from 6A on your map, or just around the corner to the left, which is 6B. Blackbirds, as you see on the shore at the moment, are native from New Zealand. They have an orange beak, very long. That's what they use to catch the oysters. Those are the oyster catchers.
See you later.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoy your time at the beach. If we haven't met before, I am Agustina from Argentina. I'm gonna be your hostess from now on. And we have Jason at the front, who's gonna drive us all around. So this is the moment we are on the blue line on your map, alright? We're on the other side of the road, so bus stop number 5 will be now 7. The museum is closed today, remember, and so is Delos Distillery, unfortunately. But don't worry, there's many different places open, like Chancellor's Estate. They have a beautiful fine dining restaurant. They offer wine tasting until 5 p.m. And if you are more into beer, you can go downstairs on the bottom floor, which is for Alibi. It's a brewery. They have amazing beers. You can try a paddle, so you have different flavors. You can try 4 different flavors that way.
Wine tasting pupunta.
everybody, you might see some boats with solar panels on top. Here they are.
Oh.
So they actually look very old and rusty, but inside they have 5 bedrooms and even a boathouse for the dog. Very fancy. So next stop is gonna be number 9 for the highest vineyard of the island. From the top of the driveway, you're gonna get 360-degree views of Waiheke. That will include Auckland City and the Sky Tower, Rangitoto Island, which actually is the youngest volcano in New Zealand, and all the vineyards we just been to, like Tantalus Estate, Stoney Ridge, and Temotu. If you're having lunch over there, in my opinion, the best views are outside. Just get one of the tables outside and enjoy the views. Are amazing. It's the only winery producing rosé and sparkling rosé. And actually the sparkling rosé is my personal favorite. It's great. And if you're planning on having lunch, I think this is a great moment. This is the only place where we have kind of a deal. So with the purchase of your meal, you're gonna get a free wine tasting. It's the only place where you can get something like that. And if you love nature just like me, I think here you can get the best of both worlds, because right next to our bus stop, there's a walking track that you can take and visit the Cascades. Don't expect a huge waterfall because you're going to be disappointed, but it's a really nice walk and super easy. It's like half an hour return. So if you're going for that, just remember it's a 10 minutes walk down the hill, and you have the steps provided, so it's super easy. It's not slippery at all. And then keep an eye on the left. There's a turn and kind of a hidden sign that says Cascade. Don't miss that turn to the left. From there is another 5 minutes walk under the canopy of the trees. And if you're more into hiking, you can just skip the turn to the left, keep on walking straight, and after 45 minutes, you're gonna end up in a swampy beach. And it's a great place for nature lovers or photographers because there's plenty of different birds over there, and kind of birds that you won't spot in the rest of the tour. And many people ask me about the walk from bus stop number 9 to number 10. On the side of the road is like not possible. It's very dangerous because there's no walking path you can see on both sides of the road. And the walking track that is around the Whakanepa Regional Park that you can see is going to take you around 2 hours or 2 hours and a half, depending on on your pace. So if you're really into hiking, go for it. But just remember, it's going to take you long. The Riesling grapes. They won't be ready until February or March next year, or what it's called a picking season. You can see some grapes already. The restaurant is right there to the left. As I said, they have a space inside and outside. And the walking track for the Cascades is on the left as well, just to the wooden post. The next pickup time is 2:04. Any takers?
Helicopter.
free olive oil tasting until 3 p.m. So don't leave it for the end of the day. I always recommend my passengers to hop off here. I think it's a great experience. They offer 4 different tastings of olive oil, and the flavors are really, really different. You're gonna get one that is very spicy, one peppery, the other one's got creamy. And what is crazy is that the full flavor is given by the olives. There's nothing more than olives on them. And the flavors are so different. I don't know how they do it. And then they have tamarind chutney to try, and the herb spread. If you are missing some of your Christmas presents, I think this is a great spot to get them. It's very original, and I always get food as a gift. So I think it's a great idea. They have other testers like lip balms, body creams, lotions, soap, and they even sell pottery. So you can find anything there. And if you're animal lovers, they have a rooster. His name is Roger, and he's all of a model. He loves pictures, so you can take some of him. And then Oscar, a very old cat. He's like 14 years old, but he acts like a puppy. He loves cuddling, and you can have him on your arms. So I think it's a great and like a full experience. And what you see on both sides of the road, these trees belong to a huge regional park of 2,700 hectares. Its name is Whakanefa, which means to shade your eyes from the setting sun. If you check the map, you can see the spelling of Whakanefa is with WH. But it's not pronounced Wakanewa because in Maori the WH is pronounced just like the F sound in English. Another cool fact about Maori is that they have the same vowels in Spanish, A, E, I, O, U. So pretty easy if you speak Spanish, you'll be able to read it. Maybe not understand it, but definitely read it. If you're hopping off here in Waiheke Estate, we're gonna pick you up at 2:08. 2:08, next bus coming. You can see that it's kind of brownish like the water at the moment, but it's only because we're at low tide because of the mud. In another couple of hours, this is going to be crystal blue, beautiful. And this is the industrial area of Austin. What you see on the right is the Resource Recovery Center. Is where we bring all the recyclables and they send them to Auckland. And you're gonna see some graffitis from the skate park. Here it are. Here they are. And here's where we have placemakers and Waiheke living. Is where we get all the stones, all the furniture, plans, building supplies, everything you get here. This is stop number 11 for the seafood market, and the next bus will pick you up at 14 past 2. Take care.
Kuya, present ba? Nananipuli na to. Bus number 3 and bus number 11. Ang stop number 3, stop number 11. Pagka Ilara.
bantay. Balik naman namin.
Kabantay.
Balik naman.
Nga nila nag-oyster yan eh. Ano tas number 3? Tabok ni mo, 11. I love it. Ano naman ang oyster?
Wala ko yung wine kanina. May bus stop na ba? Number 10.
So, market. Before mo go to the countdown, lagi, balik na. $2 each. Balik safe. Ano yung order? Holy Roma? Harok. Lang. Basta? Ano na? Hindi ko mabasa. Ano? Haraki? Haraki. Magtukod sa restaurant na rin eh. Pa-appeal na ko sa ilahan. Para 3, 11. Yeah. Dali na. Hindi ako. Okay. Next destination. It's a bit tipsy pero kaya pa. Okay. Another wine tasting. Ano tagi? Ano to kabinat mo? Ay, ito tagi? Nahuman namin sa among first wine tasting and olive. Ah, yummy olive. Isang taon olive. Kubog. Best wine tasting place. Malik ta dira beb, ganun dito mo dali. Malik ta gawa. Bah. Lots of grapes. March mo din ingon no, mga hinog na. Gani. Ano ko malapot? Hapa ako dira nindot dag. Uy, nindot man sabtong ko diha. Hindi sa kalsada, di ba? Hindi sa kalsada, Reb. Worth it ang lakaw. Signature. Wow. More nani sa inyo? Dili sa ka, Beb. Beb, dili sa ka. Wow! Ang nice! Sige, buhat. Buhat. Huh? Dito lang mga dahon, ang mga pot. Oh. Spray?
vlogs, parehan, business side. Patayin ng wood. Hindi mapyo mo ng wood.
For the first time in our life, nakabot yun may bayar. Hikap ka, hikap ang galing na ba? Okay. Let's go! It's really, really cold. Hindi tayo mag-ara, oy. Purple everywhere. Pictures ata. Ano kasi sa katao? Naliligaw ka dapat. Tao dito. Dito mo siya. Short dito, nabasa na ka. Basaan na ni mo. Ha? Short, kapilos ko. Sana mo ito, basaan na yung basunis. Hindi na yung nagsigaw short para makaligo. Kahumol, di na oh. Going home now. Kapirin ko sa bus. Diba? Ato tanan. Pinakalas na bus. Pinakalas na passenger. Sulit na sulit. Pero wala mo na ito. Next adventure, Cape Ringa. Ringa? Zana! Babas ang next adventure? Next adventure ay tangi. Number ka gila daw ni tangi.
Right, so if you look at your map, you're on the blue line, you're heading back towards the ferry, and for most of the first part of this journey, it's not a good idea to get off the bus, because this is the last bus. So the Waiheke Valley is closed, and then, as I said, number 9, not a good idea. Why isn't it a good idea? Because as this is the last bus, and number 9 is really remote, so you wouldn't have a way to get back to the ferry
na tayo nag-iisa.
Sulit ka rin datang sa Pinas. Kanta.
Stay there at the night, diba? Sulit yung sulit. Ano? Ito naman today, no? Pasti lang.
Ako na bawal sini. At least, in-instant it.
We're going home.
So number 10 is next, and that's closed, and then number 11 is after that, and that's closed, and number 12 is closed. So you can go to sleep and wake up when we get to number 13. When we get to number 13, I'll yell really loud to wake you up. As a village in 1916, they had a competition for naming Ostend Village, and the winner of the competition obviously had nominated Ostend. And I think that was a goer for two reasons. One is that at the time, it was the middle of World War I, and everyone was rooting for Belgium. Ostend was the site of a major battle, and there was a lot in the news about Ostend at that time. But also Ostend is a seaside resort town similar to this place. So it tells us two things. It tells us that people were very concerned about World War I, and it also tells us that they viewed this place as being a potential seaside resort. After World War I, they wanted to build a monument to remember the war, and of course the place that they named Ostend seemed like the place to do it. So up pops the monument and the War Memorial Hall. Every town in New Zealand has a war memorial hall. And then when it came time to build the RSA, that's the Returned Servicemen's Association, I think in Australia you call it the RSL. It's kind of like an old soldiers community centre, and so that was established here. For $30 a year, anyone on the island can join the RSA, and many people do. It's about the most gregarious place you can be on a Friday night on the island. People meet there to sing karaoke and have a meat raffle and socialise. There's a bar and a restaurant there. And what's really nice about it is that you've got all generations socialising together. What's not so good about it is that it's freezing cold, and in the winter you actually do find yourself standing around with a beer in your hand, in a beanie and a jacket. It feels like you're in a Scottish murder mystery. It's very cold in there, but very nice. Coming into Waiheke Bay now, and you'll have a chance to have another look at that tide. The road that goes across Waiheke Bay is called the Causeway. It was built in the 1960s. Before that, it was possible to actually kayak right across the island through this swampy area. Nowadays the swamp is mostly silted up, and also the causeway has had something to do with inhibiting movement of the water. However, we can gauge what the tides are doing by watching the movement of the water on each side of the road as we cross Waiheke Bay. So have a look at it yourself, have a look to the right, have a look to the left, see what the water is doing, and see if you can make your own judgment about the direction of the tide. I hate it when it does that. It must be at full tide right now because it's not moving at all. We're coming up to stop number 12, but we won't be stopping there unless there's someone who needs a ride, because it's really not a good place to hop out. This suburb was built in the 1920s. If you're still awake, have a look and see if you can spot the buildings, the original 1920s cottages. What I find especially cute is that there's a little bit of Art Deco around the place, and it's Art Deco built from wood because it's so hard to do brick or stone on an island. cues from you guys that you're thinking about a swim. But it is still early in the evening. It's a long time before it gets dark. It's high tide at the moment, and the weather so far has been reasonably kind. So I'll point out Little Oneloa to you. It's a great place to have a swim if you're feeling like a change of plan. I know it's unlikely. It's a long shot, right? But it's on the bus route. You can do this.
Ilang walk kasi. Ay, nandun na.
So if you're going to number 13, of course the beach is a good choice. And one of the beaches is Little Oneloa, just here. And it's a short walk from Oneloa village. The sidewalk actually leaves the road and goes down the hill. So you'd be walking back from Oneloa village. And when you get to the church, the sidewalk leaves the road and it goes down the hill to this little protected beach. Oneloa itself is a larger beach, also very nice, and at the moment there'd be a lot of dogs on the beach because it's 20 past 6 and locals are allowed to bring their dogs to the beach after 6 o'clock. Actually, I think it's up to 5:30. Other things that you might like to see and do in Oneloa village are get some fish and chips at the local, or go to the Thai restaurant, which is called the Red Crab. You may like maybe that the ice cream shop is still open, and the Waiheke Wine Centre is open until 7. That's a wine shop that also has set up for doing wine tastings for all of the wines produced on the island. They're not able to give you information about the wines, but the name of the wine is there and you can try it. Here is number 13, Oneloa.
Keep that on here a bit longer.
No time to turn around and go back to the middle.
Yeah, this is further.
Now, if you decide to hop off at Mudbrick, something you may choose to do is walk from Mudbrick to Cable Bay and then use the bush track that goes down the hillside to the ferry terminal. So it's about 10 minutes from Mudbrick to Cable Bay if you're walking, and then 25 minutes down the hillside to the ferry terminal. Remember that the ferry continues until late, although this is the last Explorer bus. So if you hop off at Mudbrick, you're either looking at a walk back to the ferry or taking a taxi. No more buses after this.
Okay, this is our last bus.
So we're getting on.
This is the last bus. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea.
On your left you can see the grapes for Mudbrick, and on your right is Jurassic Ridge. And here, can you see how different they're kept? Like Jurassic Ridge has got the grass cut short around the base of the vine. But for some reason they've let the grass grow long in the centre of the aisle, whereas Mudbrick is their grass cut short. I'm not quite sure why the difference. I'd love to hear the groundskeepers talk about that, because I can see that it's not just neglect, it's a very careful and deliberately made choice. Now if you're hopping out at here, Mudbrick, first of all ask yourself why? Why am I getting out at Mudbrick? And second, just wait until the bus is finished reversing before you hop up, okay? So we're just going to turn around and then we'll be reversing. So you want to stay in Mudbrick all night long? Go for it, man. Just Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lucy. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hooray. This is where we now sing Why Was She Born So Beautiful? No, it's not a wedding. Hang on, let us pass the mic to Jason. Jason's been drinking a lot and he's a great singer. We've got potential there.
Stop in front of the bus.
You'll need to go upstairs and take the proper seats. It's safer. Sorry.
Happy birthday, dear Lucy. Happy birthday to you.
Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip!
Hooray!
This is where we now sing Why Was She Born So Beautiful? No, it's not a wedding. Hang on, let us pass the mic to Jason. Jason's been drinking a lot and he's a great singer. We've got potential there.
Stop in front of the bus.
You'll need to go upstairs and take the proper seats. It's safer. Sorry. Break the pit out. It tastes remotely like cabbage. The trunk on the tree has a tendency to rot out and become hollow, and so Maori people used to use it as a chimney. And the leaves of the tikoka are very tough and fibrous, and so they were used to make ropes. In the 1950s, those leaves would drop to the ground and they dry, and people would gather up those leaves and plait them together to make kindling for the fireplace. But now we all have electricity for our heating, and we don't need hollow logs to make chimneys. And our rope is made from hemp or plastic fibre, and all those tikoka leaves drop to the ground and get tangled up in the lawnmower and make a real mess of things. So we've had a problem with people in New Zealand poisoning those trees now because it annoys them too much with their lawnmowers. In contrast, they're actually exporting the tikoka tree to England, where landscape gardeners are using them in southern England to create an exotic garden in a cold climate. It's being sold by landscapers in the United Kingdom as the Torquay palm or the Torbay palm. Ironic, eh? Carefully, through your sleep-drunk mind, about the location of your keys and your phone and your glasses, and your wallet, your passport. Make sure you know where everything is, and zip up your bag so that nothing falls out. And as you leave the bus, turn back and look at your seat and make sure you're leaving behind a completely empty seat, because trying to organise lost property from a remote location is quite tricky. And once you're secure and satisfied that everything is where it should be, then you can continue to have a lovely day. Yesterday was the longest day. It was the summer solstice. So we can say that the night is still young. case you missed it, my name's Melissa and your driver's name is David. Have a good night.
Time to go home. Minamugtur na lumigula nga ato. Nakagkulang din kapag pwede balikan. At at least, kibaw na may asan sunod na mga tuon. Balik na mo dari. It's a nice island. We should try to come here and then try the hop on, hop off bus. And don't miss the wine tasting. I like this place. I'll surely come back next year. Next year. Next year, no? We'll come back next year. I like the place. Next destination, Coromandel, Cape Rena, and Rotorua Island. Island ba to? Basta Rotorua to. Good luck sa kung kauban niya dili dagan. Ako nag-enjoy. Nag-enjoy ka? Wala. Nga naman. Okay. Ita. Sigway? 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 Wala, may dire. Nade. Diba yun na dumabot? Nalikoy. Magbay ko na lang ba? Hindi pwede. No. Ito rin na. Bakit magabutan na? Ano rin sakay? Sakay naman. Okay, sakay namin. Bye, Waiheke. Thank you for the lovely day and thank you for the delicious wine, for the tour, and basta, I love this island. Balik pa ko dere. Bye!
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Take care, everyone. Bye for now. Till next time. Bye.